good, YouTube? It's your boy NewEraMar's back again with another video for y'all. Today we about to get into my top 10 albums of 2019. Putting this list together, it wasn't as hard at all. Just like I said in the last video when I was doing the top 25 songs, this joint wasn't that hard. Literally, when I put 1 through 5 together, it was clear that them 5 was gonna be right there. It started getting a little tricky with 6 through 10 because I'm like, okay, there's a few albums that could fit in here and I gotta weed a few of them out. So I'm gonna have to do a separate video with all of the honorable mentions that could have been in the top 6 through 10, maybe at the 10th spot. Honestly, the 10th spot was the hardest to figure out because I feel like there's a few albums that could have went at number 10. Without further ado, we just gonna get straight into it. Number 10, RODDY RICCH with Please Excuse Me for Being Antisocial. I had to give it to him. He killed this album. I've been listening to it ever since it dropped. There's certain songs on here that just are so amazing to me. I can see me going well into 2020 still listening to him. He did not disappoint me. I didn't know what to expect. I knew his last project, The Feed the Streets 2 or 3. Can't remember what number it was, but I remember that joint was hard. It was fire. I expected that with this one, but like, I don't know. I didn't know how much his sound might have changed, or like, is he working with new producers? Like, what is it gonna sound like? But he didn't disappoint me at all. He actually killed this album. He had some dope melodies. His voice was like, he was really using his voice more than he did on the last project. I remember that. Like, he was trying new things with his voice. These songs is catchy. It's just consistent. It was a consistent album. It wasn't too many songs I had to skip. I didn't hear a bad track on this album. Some of my favorite songs on here that I listen to is The Box, Start With Me featuring Gunna, Peter featuring Meek Mill is a banger. Boom Boom Room was my favorite. I thought that was my favorite when I first reacted, but I ain't gonna lie, High Fashion grew on me and I listened to that more than any of the other songs on here so far. The joint with Ty Dolla Sign, Backseat, that joint slaps too, but High Fashion is my joint. I play that right after I play Ballin'. The joint he did with Mustard before, that joint is hard. All right, album number 9 on the list, I gotta give it to Wale. Wow, that's crazy. I'm gonna keep it real. This album has, it's probably about 4 or 5 songs on this album that I actually go back to consistently. The rest of the album, I don't really listen to it that much, but the reason it's going on the list is because I feel like the album was solid overall. Like, it was a good album. I wasn't sure what to expect from Wale because I was like, he ain't putting nothing out that I like in years. But he impressed me with this album. He impressed me a lot. Lyrically, he killed every song. I agreed with a lot of what he was saying on each song. And I felt him. I don't be in the mood for some of these songs a lot. Like, some of the beats, it's like, I'm not in the mood for that. I need something that hit a little different. Like, give me a sample or something. I like when he talk about like love and stuff like that. That's really where I like him at. So I go back to the songs like On Chill with Jeremiah, of course. Love, ... Her Fault with Bryson Tiller. I even like BGM, Black Girl Magic. I love that song. The first song, Sue Me with Kelly Price, I think that's a banger. It's like certain songs I go back to when he's talking about like women, or even when he's just getting deep into like, Sue Me, I'm rooting for everybody that's black. I think that's dope to me. Like, that song just was like dope just for, I like how he was empowering black people, and you know what I mean? Like, we need that. The culture needs that. I appreciate the album for what it is. I think it's a really solid album. It's a few songs I could do without, but you know, he got the type of music you gotta be in the mood for it. You gotta be. It was a dope album. I think he deserved to make the list. I was really impressed with him. It was a highlight of the year for me. Like, my boy, he's back. Like, all right, I'm proud of you. Number 8 on the list, I gotta give this one to Schoolboy Q, Crash Talk. When I first heard this album, I thought it was dope. I seen a lot of people, they did not like the album for whatever reason. They said it was him trying too hard to make like maybe a hit or like trap music or something. I don't know what they thought. They didn't really like the production, or like it wasn't the typical Schoolboy that they're used to, which I understood, because listening to his older projects, he don't really do a lot of bangers like this album had. This had some hard hitting beats. He don't really do that on his other albums, you know what I mean? He may have one or two or whatever, but Num Num Juice is a banger. As soon as I heard that, I was hoping he would do more of that on the album. I said, this song is so hard. Please have more of these on the album. And he did. He had a song with 21 Savage, Floating, that was hard. He had a song called Water with Lil Baby that was hard. Some people thought it was whack because he was trying something different. Like, they ain't used to that typical Schoolboy, which I understood. But to me, it was hard. Song called Die With Him, it was hard. He had 4 bangers right there, you know what I'm saying? But then I think that he had songs like Crash, which is probably my second favorite after Num Num Juice. I would say Crash is my second favorite. Gang Gang, the first song. Tails, this joint is hard mostly the whole way through. It's only like 2-3 songs I could do without, and that's like Chopsticks with Travis Scott. I still skip that. Months later, I still think it slaps, you know what I mean? It came out earlier this year, but like we at the end of the year now, it's December, and it's still hard. Like a lot of these songs are still hard. So I had to throw him in here, even though a lot of people probably disagree. I think he killed that album, so he had to make the list. Number 7 on the list, I gotta get this one to Future, aka my twin brother, or me. Y'all think it's me mixed with whoever y'all think Future can be mixed with. Dwight Howard, with who else? Tupac, I done heard. Marshawn Lynch, which is funny. Y'all wanna know something funny? Y'all, I hear a lot of people like, yo, you look like Marshawn Lynch. And my name is actually Marshawn. That's actually my real first name. But anyway, Future had to make the list with The Wizard. They dropped at a point where I was thinking like, what more can Future really do? Like, if he's working with just Metro all the time, it gets tiring. I didn't know what to expect. I kind of wanted another Hendrix type of album, because I was like, all right, Hendrix is where he kind of gets into his singing bag. He starts talking to the ladies. He kind of needs to start focusing that way, because he did all the trap music he can do, all the drug talk. He did it. We heard it a million times. It gets tiring. So I was like, what is this vibe gonna be? And I feel like this was a dope album. I can't even lie. I feel like he kind of was talking about stuff he was going through and stuff. Like, it just made sense. I was like, hold up, this is kind of dope. Like, from the first song, Never Stop. Never Stop was a dope opening. I said, okay, I see where he's going. But then he dropped Jumping on the Jet. At first, I didn't like it that much, but it grew on me. I was like, yo, this joint kind of hard. Rocket Ship, one of my favorite songs this year. I get dressed in the morning to that song. I was like, I get fresh to this. F&N was a dope song. I like the beat switch in it. Call the Coroner is one of my joints. That's one of my favorite songs on this album. I was like, yo, I listen to this all the time. Serving Killer Cam. He got a couple songs for the ladies too. Promise You That. Temptation. Like, yo, he killed this album. You know what I mean? Like, I really like this. I like Ain't Coming Back. I just vibe to that some days. I just be riding around just vibing. Ain't Coming Back. Like, it's just hard. Like, I just rock with this album heavy. Like, it was one of the ones that was consistent. And I didn't notice until I literally was putting the list of albums together, like how much I actually listened to this album. It just came and went for a lot of people. I don't hear nobody talk about this album, but for me, I was like, wait a minute, this joint can't go unrecognized. I listened to this more than most albums this year. Like, he had to make the list. All right, number 6 on the list, we got to get this one to Gunna with Drip or Drown 2. When I first heard this album, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little disappointed at first. He was coming up for Drip Season 3. That was the last full-length project he did by himself. And I was so hype about that album. I thought the album is flawless. Then he ended up doing he did a project with Lil Baby. I forget the name of that project. What's that joint? Drip Harder, I think it was Drip Harder. And like, I was disappointed with that. It just wasn't all that. It was like 1 or 2 songs that I go back to on that joint. But like, I was wondering what to expect from him. I'm like, all right, cause like his last full-length joint was fire. Like, I know he gonna hit the guitar with the hard beat. Like, they gonna kill it. Somebody had to put me on there. It's like, yo, you gotta think though. You disappointed in this one cause you're comparing it to Drip Season 3. But Metro did a majority of Drip Season 3. He like executive produced it. It made all the sense in the world. I said, damn, that's what was missing, Metro. Then I had to realize, this is Drip or Drown. This ain't Drip Season. So Drip Season 4 is probably what I should be waiting for. But I ain't gonna lie. Anyway, back to this. This was fire though. When I look back at it, I ain't gonna lie. I listened to this a lot this year. Like, it grew on me. Just like Drip Season 3, I was like, all right, it's cool. I found the bangers that I wanted at the time. Then I'll come back to them later. Then I kept finding more and more. Same thing that happened with this. Like, off the rip, I was like, okay, I like One Call. I like Yao Ming. I like Speed It Up. I like Three Headed Snake. All right, I'm good. But then later on, I come back and I'm like, Richard Millie Plain is kind of fire. I'm like, yo, Out the Hood is kind of hard. Like, as the year progressed, I'm like, I ain't gonna lie. Some of these songs, I ain't even peep. Like, people would just be playing. I'm like, I'll be riding my man, and he just cut on like Same Young Nigga with Playboy Cardi. I'm like, yo, this joint kind of slap. What album this on? He's like, yo, this is on the Drip and Drill tour. I'm like, this one of the ones that I wasn't too pressed for, but it's hard. Who You Fooling is hard. I was like, yo, these sounds in the song is crazy. I didn't really like Baby Birkin like that, to be honest. Then I seen the video and I was like, nah, this kind of fire. Like, it kind of vibe. Like, it's just certain songs that just grew on me, even though I wasn't too pressed at the time. It just hit me later on in the year. Like, yo, he just slide on every beat. He just sound good. Like, a majority of this album is actually fire. I just wasn't in the mood for some of these songs at the time, or like I was comparing it to something else, or it sound like something else I like. But I guess once you get out of that mind frame, it just goes. So I kind of just let it rock. But like, I rock with this album now. When I look back at it, I think it's dope. Number 5 on the list, gotta get this one to Tory Lanez, CHIXTAPE 5. Probably one of the only albums this year I was actually excited for and anticipating. I didn't know when he was going to drop, but I had a feeling he was going to drop 2020 in February, around like Valentine's Day. It just would have made all the sense in the world. It's like CHIXTAPE, mad love songs. It just makes sense for the ladies, like around Valentine's Day. So I wasn't sure how he was going to do it, but it came November and I was like, okay, that's cool. That works too. Wintertime, cuffing season, still works. He'll be all right. It'll last till then. This joint got some slaps on it. He flipped some really dope tracks. I feel like he put a lot of effort into the album. I think him putting so much effort into it is what some people don't like though. And I understand why, because like listening to the old CHIXTAPEs, it was just kind of like, he looked at them as mixtapes. Like, I'ma just sample what I want. I'ma just have fun with it. But this one, I feel like he took it serious. Like, he took it so serious, like he even got the artist who he was sampling to jump on the track, which kind of wasn't necessary for some tracks. It's crazy because it was a moment and I was so excited to play the Guess That Sample game. Like, I was like listening to it like, all right, what's next? What's he gonna flip next? And I hope he do it right. And it's like exciting knowing the song. It takes you back to the moment when you heard the original song, and it just made every song was just like a moment, you know what I mean? Even if you don't go back to it, it's not the best song in the world, it's still a moment. Like, you can't, like, I remember hearing Mario like crying out for me, and I remember like when Lil Wayne remixed it. I remember Trey Songz Can't Help But Wait. I remember in my room singing that joint like, can't help but wait. Like, I was doing the Trey Songz lip quiver. Like, I remember doing that. I remember listening to Ashanti, like, see my days are gone without you. But, you know what I mean? Like, I remember these moments. It was exciting for my childhood. Like, just when I was growing up, and he flipped all of my favorite songs. I rock with this album heavy, though. Number 4 on the list, DABABY with KIRK. KIRK is actually a dope album when I look back. Like, I had to look at the track list and I remember the intro. The intro was fire. I remember off the rip, I was like, it's a little weird. Like, I had to catch the beat. It's a little fast, but now I don't know how many times I can play that song out. Bop is a slap. It grew on me with the video and everything. Like, the way he's dancing around. Yo, this dude done killed. He pushed that song so hard, it's not even funny. That's one of my favorite songs this year. Vibes is hard. It slaps. One of my favorites is Probably Heard. You probably heard I was broke from a broke nigga. Probably heard I'm a hoe from a hoe. Yo, man, that joint slap. I love that song. And you know what else? The last song, XXL. I think that was his Triple XL freestyle. He just put it on a very hard beat. Yo, I'm not gonna lie. I love that song so much, dog. I don't know what it is about it. Like, I just really, I learned every word to the song. I just be going crazy when that jump come on. This album slap. His joint with Kevin Gates, Pop Star, slaps. Really, with Stunner for Vegas, slap. It's only 13 tracks. So if I'm listening to like 9 or 10 out of 13, come on, like, this album had to go in there. Okay, number 3. We down to the final 3 on the list. Man, number 3 on this list, we got to give it to Summer Walker. Over It. If I was doing like a top R&B albums of the year, which I should have did, but if I was going to do that, this would be number 1. It would definitely be number 1. She killed this album. I listened to this album way more than any, maybe all of these albums on the list, to be honest. I probably listen to this the most. I swear she got the perfect vibe for like when you chilling with a female, or even when you alone. You don't even gotta be with a female for her. Her voice is amazing. She's just dope with it. Like, her style is just, it's unique. It's her. I love her voice. The production on this, London on the track, he gotta get all the credit in the world on the production half, because he killed it. The beats was hard, and that's what makes it easier for men to listen to some of these tracks. Like Playing Games, slap. What's the joint with Usher? Come Through, slap. Like, he was giving her bangers. I'm ready to see what she do next. She had a big year this year with this album. I rock with it heavy. Definitely had to make the list. So number 2 on the list, I'm gonna have to give this one to Young Thug with So Much Fun. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think I would ever see a day I would have a top 10 Thug. I mean, I would do a top 10 and it would be a Thug project in there. I never thought I would see the day that would happen. I think he makes dope songs, but like as far as like full projects, that's not really his strong point. And yeah, it's not many projects from him that I like the whole way through, or even a majority, to be honest. So for me to look at this album and say, wow, I really listened to this a lot this year, and like just as a whole project, it's really solid. That's crazy to me. A lot of the songs grew on me. I always tell y'all, like, when I do like a first reaction, you got to give it time though. Still, I rate things based off of first listen. Later on, this album could be the hardest in the world, or it could be even worse than I thought it was when I first listened. So this one grew on me a lot. Like, I already thought it was hard, but it's just certain songs that I remember when I was reacting, I just wasn't in the mood at the moment, or like it didn't sound that good to me. But later on, them joints hit me. Like I'll give you a prime example. Sup Mate with Future. When I first heard it, I was like, this is pure cooning and buffooning. They hardly are saying words. And then for some reason right now, when it come on, I feel like I know everything they're saying. Like, I'm jumping from wall to wall. Every time I'm trying to turn up, that's one of the first songs I go to right there. I love that song. Hot with Gunna is a slap. I knew it was gonna be. It sounds like Middle Child, J. Cole to me. Light It Up is like probably Light It Up and Jumped Out the Window. Them two might be my 2 favorite songs on the album. Like, I listen to Light It Up, then I play Jumped Out the Window. They slap. They slap. What's the Move was my favorite with Uzi for a minute. That song grew on me. I was like, okay, I thought it was just average. Nah, they killed that. I like the flow of it. It's hard. Circle of Bosses is hard. Cartier Gucci scarf. I'm Scared with 21 Savage and Doughboy, fire. This joint got so many slaps on it, it's not even funny. And what he got, 18 songs, 19 songs? The London even grew on me. I listen to the London now, and I'm like, yo, this joint hard. What was wrong with me? Like, every time I'm in I just want to play music, but I don't feel like keep changing the song or like mixing the songs up. I'll be like, man, what's a solid album I could just put on and just continue doing my work or whatever. I ain't got to keep changing the songs. I always go to this album. I found myself going to this a lot. It's out of this and what I'm about to play, what I'm about to pick for number 1. Who y'all think I'm gonna pick for number 1? I'm gonna give you 5 seconds. Just think on it. Who you think I'm gonna pick? Okay, let's do a drum roll. I gotta give number 1 to Dreamville, Revenge of the Dreamers 3. This album is consistent. I like it pretty much the whole way through. It's maybe 1 or 2 songs that I literally don't really go. 1 or 2 songs that I could really do without. But like when I go back and listen to this, it still impresses me like the first time I listened to it. I mean, man, I think lyrically, if we gonna go just bars lyrically, this had to be album of the year. They had the best bars on this album this year to me. They got some amazing verses on here, amazing artists. Everybody killed it. I was wondering how they was gonna work with so many artists and make it work on an album. I'm like, how is this gonna work? And it worked somehow. I mean, from the first song to the end, it's some amazing lyrics on here. It's some amazing songs and some amazing ideas. This is the most impressed I've been all year. I'm like, man, this is crazy that Cole was able to put this together like this and still get his artist talent at the forefront. Like, his artists still shine the most. Throughout all the other artists who was on this album, his artist shined the most. And he didn't even take all the shine. I literally spent time on each song thinking about like who had the best verse. Like I would listen to it a bunch of times. Like, okay, who had the best verse on this song? It was like a competition, but it was fun. It was friendly. It was everybody cool. It excited me. It made me want to write. It made me want to rap. It made me want to come with my best lyrics. It made me want to work with artists. It gave me a new excitement to record music again. I mean, I've been recording all throughout the year. You know, I do music too, but like sometimes I lose the feeling. Like I don't even really feel like it. But then like I'll hear a specific album and it'll be like, yo, this is so amazing. Like I know I could top this. I have to try. I wish I was with them in the studio. Some of my favorite songs on it is Under the Sun, Down Bad. What else on here? Self Love. I love Boss's verse on that. That's amazing. Costa Rica was hard. What's the other name? Oh, Got Me, of course. Like Got Me was a big song. Middle Child is a big song. PTSD, my boy Deontay Hitchcock. I shouted him out in the reaction video I did, but he killed his verse. I thought his verse was one of the best verses, probably like the second or third best verse on the album. The last song on the album is my favorite, Sacrifices with Smino, Saba, Earth Gang, J. Cole. J. Cole's verse is verse of the year on that song. I love this album. It's definitely my favorite this year. A lot of people don't even give this album credit. I don't know why, but I'm gonna give it credit because it inspired me. I rock with this album heavy, so I want to hear what y'all think. That's my top 10 list. I want to know what y'all think though. Now, what is y'all top 10? I'm curious to hear what y'all put in y'all list. I know y'all gonna tear me up in the comment section for forgetting certain albums. I know it's a few that got left off that I know y'all feel should be on there, but I'm gonna keep it real. If they didn't make the list, I probably don't listen to it that much. Like I might have heard it one time, said, okay, that's cool, and then moved on my life and never went back. Seriously, it probably didn't even, it clearly wasn't listened to as much as these other albums. It didn't impact me the way it impacted y'all, clearly. But maybe at a later time it will. Yeah, y'all comment below. Let me know what albums y'all feel like should have made the list, or do y'all agree with my list? I'm sure y'all gonna rearrange it and something shouldn't be number 1 or 2 or 3. Subscribe if you didn't already. Hey, we hit 1K in 2019, so I'm excited to see what we're gonna do in 2020. I appreciate all of y'all who been watching these videos and all of that. Like, definitely appreciate y'all for subscribing, commenting, hitting the thumbs up, everything, sharing the videos. I appreciate y'all more than I can even explain. Y'all the ones who motivate me to keep going, you know what I'm saying? And it makes it fun when I do this. I just like to see the comments and what y'all think and just have a little debate. You know what I mean? It's just fun to me. So thank y'all for watching. It's your boy NewEraMar's. I hope y'all have a great New Year's and all of that. I'm out. Peace.